Hello everyone! The last time I played Legends of Runeterra on this channel, I was getting qualified for the seasonal tournament. And today, I'm playing it. Alright, I have to wait for another 50 minutes. And now that I waited for 50 minutes, I have to wait for 5 potential minutes. I'm gonna be honest, this was the first time I did any kind of tournament stuff, so I took a solid minute to understand what was needed from me. But eventually I figured it out. I would have wanted to explain to you my logic behind banning decks or anything like that, but this is not actually the point of this video. As the last time I played the same 3 decks, and this is an aggro deck, and I got one of the best first turns I could have ever gotten, which set me up in a really good position. I was dealing a lot of early damage, and with the things I had in my hand, I was setting up for even more. My strategy, as in all aggro decks, was mostly to deal as much damage to enemy nexus as possible, and that's what I was doing. As you might see, an enemy nexus has 2 health, and I have a spell that deals 4 damage. So naturally, without any thinking, I decided to use it, and out of nowhere, an enemy healed themselves. And I couldn't kill them. I lost that game, and I would say that it was genuinely fun, even though I was a little bit frustrated with myself for doing such horrible mistakes. But I was still excited for the next game. And again, I got the best 1-drop for the first turn of the game, but this time, my enemy had a spell that deals 1 damage to my minion. But that didn't matter to me, because I had another one. But it appears that my enemy had another spell that deals 1 damage to my minion. But that didn't matter because I had another one. But that didn't matter because my enemy had another spell to deal 1 damage to my minion. My enemy put a Wager on board, which let him get a darkness that deals 2 damage to any minion. So I decided to deal damage to my own champion to deal more damage to the enemy nexus, which I thought was a good trade-off. What was I not expecting, however, is for my enemy to have another spell that deals 1 damage to my minion. However, I had a spell of my own, which leveled up Annie so she got 1 extra health, so she didn't die from the spell. However, I was not expecting that my enemy had another 1 damage dealing spell. But even all of these things happened, I still had a shot at winning. I had 9 damage collectively in my hand, and I just needed to play accordingly. First, I used the spell that dealt 4 damage to the enemy nexus. By that, I set it up for a minion that dealt 2 damage to the enemy nexus. I got a heart attack because I thought I was going to discard the card that was supposed to win me the game, but that was not true. And now, by negating the healing for him and dealing 3 damage straight to his nexus, I didn't win, because this time he had a spell that didn't do 1 damage to my minion, but instantly killed it. And so, I lost. I lost the first game as a 0-2. And even though I was 1 step away from actually progressing in the tournament, I had a lot of fun because of how ridiculously unlucky I was. In the next game, I played an Annie again in the first turn, and as you might expect, I was 3 damage away from winning it. In the next game I had to fight a cannon deck, and as I recall, it's definitely an experience, and I was 1 damage away from winning. So far, I lost 3 sets and won 1. I didn't have the footage of the other 2 because I was outside, but I genuinely had a good time. However, I, once again, wasn't expecting what's going to happen next. In the middle of the next set, my internet died, which was not the fault of the game but my own, and I had to continue playing it from the phone. If you're wondering, yes, I lost that game, but it was still fun to play. But then, the poor soul that I am, who was not aware by how people treat the tournaments, I had to face one thing: people forfeiting the matches. The thing is, to actually progress through the tournament, you need to at least win 7 out of 9 games, and then you can get through if you're high enough rank. So most people, when they don't get the 7 wins, just leave the game immediately. So every time you meet one of the person like that, they auto-forfeit and you grant an easy win. Unfortunately, I was not there for easy wins because I already could not get through to the continuation of the tournament, but I wanted to play for fun. But I couldn't. The next 4 games were forfeits, but I patiently waited for each one of them, because I actually wanted to play them out. But I'm gonna be honest, when it was already nearly 1 AM, I was a little bit emotional about the fact that I couldn't play the last 3 games, so I'm going to sit there, I'm going to wait until 1 AM, and I'm going to play a game The last person is not going to forfeit, and I'm gonna have fun. Okay? I'm gonna play the last round normally. Nobody is going to fucking leave. Please. Please, please, please be there. But at the end of the day, I had fun, and maybe I'll do that again. However, with all this tournament deal, I would really appreciate knowing prior to the fact that you don't have to play half of it.